Hey class, and welcome to the introduction to our Romeo and Juliet Shakespeare unit. Oh man, I gotta tell you guys, I am very bummed about this whole situation that we can't do this together because this is really one of the most fun units that we have in English 9. And so much of that fun comes from being able to read this story together, act it out together, do some sword fighting, learn a lot about love and romance, and just tons of great themes. Lots of important ideas that we can all relate to as humans in general, but it's so good with young ninth graders because you're right around the same age as our main characters. So you can really relate to a lot of the stuff going on in their lives. Okay. Right now, we're looking at our screen and you can see our reading schedule for Romeo and Juliet. Okay. We're still continuing to read it. We're going to dominate it, even though we are far apart from each other. Okay. So if you look at it, the first thing I want to direct your attention to is the No Fear Shakespeare link. Okay. We don't have our textbooks. We don't have our Romeo and Juliet book. So we're going to be doing it online, reading the No Fear Shakespeare version. Now, this is really slick, and I do love it so much. It's great for students because you guys should really know that it is okay to use resources like this to help you understand old texts. Okay. Now, Romeo and Juliet was written hundreds of years ago, and you know how quickly language can change, how quickly phrases and new words can be introduced to our language. And this is a great example of that. Now, even though it's old, we can still definitely relate to it. We can definitely understand it. And this is a great way for you to do that. When you see it, actually, let me click on it and show you. All right. Now, when you're using this and we read it, I'll just click on scene 1, which we'll go to shortly. You can see that it will have the original text on the left side and the modern text on the right, and then probably some ads over here, maybe some other menus to go to. But really what we want to focus on is the original text, okay? Now, the original text means that this is what we'd be reading if we were reading it out of our textbooks, for example, or if you bought a book that said Romeo and Juliet on it by William Shakespeare. This is where we would be reading the play. Okay. Then next to it is the modern text. So the people over at No Fear Shakespeare have put the modern text next to the original text to take the fear away from Shakespeare. Okay. You will have things translated into modern day language, and the wording might change. The way it's arranged will change, so you'll be able to understand it better. Okay. So definitely try to read the original text, but do not be ashamed. Do not be afraid to read the modern text along with it. When I'm reading it to you guys, we will be reading the original text. And then if there's ever anything you don't understand, look over at the modern text, or don't be afraid to ask me for help. I will gladly try to explain it. And we want this to be something that we're able to enjoy, something we're able to understand. It's hard to enjoy something if you don't understand it. Okay. So that's what's going on with the No Fear Shakespeare. Okay. Now, reading calendar here. Today is Thursday, so we are doing our Act 1, Scene 1. I'll talk about the project in a little bit. And as you can see, every Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, we will have readings that we do that day. Okay. So that's the day that we're going to read it together, or the day that you should spend time reading that to stay on pace. Okay. And that way you can ask me questions as we go and we can all understand it together. All righty. Wonderful. All right. Now give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up the project. That way I can talk about that a little bit. Okay. So, as you can see here, we do have a assignment for you guys, okay? We will not be having regular quizzes. We will not be having a big test. So much of the stuff that we would normally do during Romeo and Juliet is going to get cut, and instead we are going to be doing this Romeo and Juliet quarantine activity. Okay, so your job is to take 3 scenes, And then these scenes have to be from 3 different acts. Okay, so in other words, one scene from 3 different acts. Okay, there are 5 acts total. Each act is like a big chapter, and then a scene is a chunk of that chapter, a chunk of that act. Okay, so once you've picked your scenes, you will be putting a modern spin on them and include the theme of quarantining. Okay, which is what we're all doing right now. We're all learning at home, so you got to like modernize it. Okay, really try to make it relate to your daily life or the idea in general. It doesn't have to be your life exactly. Okay. Number 3, you may work with yourself. So you can do this on your own, or you can work with 1 or 2 other people in our class. Okay. You can't find your other English 9 buddies in different classes with different teachers. It's got to be with someone in first hour. Okay. All right. Then you need to create 3 different videos, or 1 video with 3 scenes, or write it out like a skit or a your own version in writing. Okay. Then number 5, use the following checklist to check your work. Okay. There's a rubric there that'll tell you how you're graded. All right. I'll happily answer any questions about that later as we go, but that is the basic premise of the assignment. Okay. Cool. All right. So now, good luck with the Romeo and Juliet unit, and I'll see you guys later. All right. Very cool. Thank you.